Batman Superman issue 7, Joshua Williamson and Nick Derrington on the art. A little upset that Marquez isn't there.
Honestly, I was when I remembered it wasn't Marquez, and then I saw it was Nick Derrington, and I'm like, even better. I love Derrington's art.
I like it. I don't like it as much as Marquez though.
I think there's something about having a slightly more cartoony look that just works for me. And Marquez is already on the cartoony side of the scale, right, in terms of realism. But Nick Derrington is even further, and I just kind of love it.
I do think occasionally you'll have a face that feels a little bit off to me. Superman a couple of times had kind of it was just too much of a baby face, I guess I'd describe it as. But so this is interesting. This is the start of a new arc, right? So we get some new stuff here. They teased Raz and Zod last issue, and the plot that we actually get here is, and I was kind of excited about this because I've really enjoyed this book, but it was obviously tying into a lot of things up until now. It was kind of exciting to see what it would do on its own terms, right, with its own arc. And what it actually sets up here is that Zod is trying to basically sneak into a Lazarus pit to put the entirety of Kandor City, which was destroyed by Rogol Zar, to resurrect everyone who was in Kandor in the bottle. And I'm like, this is kind of an amazing idea.
Honestly, this is the best this book's been so far.
From a plot perspective, I agree. Like I say, if this had Marquez art, I'd give this best issue so far.
Oh no, easily. Everything in this issue is the best so far. I love it, and there's a panel early on where Ra's jumps down with the synthetic kryptonite sword, and Superman grabs the sword in his hands, and it's just like, that is so good. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I like this issue a lot. I like what it's doing with the story. I think the voices for Bruce and Clark are pretty good. I think there's even the Zod and the Raz are pretty good. I do think Zod though, like it does feel a little bit out of nowhere that he feels this way because of how he left things in the last time he's popped up in Superman. It feels a little bit like he's jumped to like angry again.
I will have to take your word for that because I don't know. Last time I saw him was maybe in Hallam Powell's when he was setting up his other colony.
Yeah, but I do dig the Raz kind of like try to fight Superman, and but I do love him putting down the smoke pellet to Batman out of the scene, and Superman's like, nope, super speed, I've got you, you can't go anywhere.
Yeah, that was kind of funny.
That was good. That was a good moment that really played off. Like this is the sort of thing that would normally work against everyone else, but not against Superman and presumably the Flash.
Something I really appreciated that took me off guard because obviously I knew that this arc was going to have Zod and Ra's, and that was it. Kind of really all we knew going in, unless you'd read more of the solicits, I guess. But we kind of just knew the basics. I was so pleasantly surprised that this wasn't just the villains teaming up.
Oh yeah. This is more like them against each other.
Yeah, and there's a moment where Zod tries to turn Clark and be like, "Hey, come join my side. We'll bring all the Kryptonians back. It'd be great." And it's kind of like for a moment you almost want him to go along with it and just to see the hero and villain on each side would be kind of cool.
Yeah, and we have Raz sipping tea in his private jet as they fly.
Batman just glaring at him for like 2 panels.
So they get to this temple where one of the Lazarus pits are, but Zod's already there. He throws the city into the pool, and we actually end the issue with all these resurrecting Kryptonians coming out of the pool, presumably all with a bit of that old bloodlust that we all love so much from Lazarus pits. So Zod's smirking and yells out, "Kandor lives," and everyone else is like, "Shit!" And it's all. In fact, what was the line here? Raz says, "Tell me you have some kryptonite on you, detective," and Batman says, "Not enough for this."
Yeah, and I love that they're all still miniaturized as well. Like, so you've got it does say at the bottom, like, next death by swarm, and it kind of is. It is a swarm of tiny Kryptonians that could presumably just puncture through half of the people there.
Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah, there's a lot of fun ideas going into this. I feel like Williamson's been really inventive here and just sort of playing with all the things that are going on. And it's kind of interesting that the book obviously started with this, okay, it's tying into all these things that, it's going to be so heavily tied to You're the Villain and teasing Hella Risen and all that stuff. And this is kind of it just getting to be its own number one again, like after all that's done. And
Yeah, honestly, I think if this had been like the number one of the book and the other bit had either not existed or it had been like a tie-in miniseries, maybe,
mhm.
I'd be far more into this book as a whole because it's been kind of like, oh, I mean, it's been all right, but it's been really hampered by just having to do these other things. If this was the first issue of the book, I'd be going, yeah, I'm down for this book, 100%.
I mean, I think me and Matt have both liked this book more than you have.
Yeah, I've
already
had some problems. Yeah.
But I am liking what the plot is here. I do wish Marquez was still in the art. I hope he's back soon. But I mean, this might be Doherty might be the artist for the whole arc. It would make sense.
It's kind of funny how completely opposed to that we are. Like, I like Marquez a lot. I think Marquez is fantastic. I'm sure if I haven't picked him, he's obviously been in consideration for best artist every time he's had an issue. But I still like Darrington more. I love it.
So Matt says, it feels like a replacement level book now. Oh, he doesn't sound as hot on it.
Oh.
But Williamson's voice for Clark and Bruce is good. His Raz feels straight from Batman the Animated Series. Darrington's art is perfect tone for the book. 7.5 out of 10.
That was everything positive except that first comment. 7.5.
What's weird is that he says, yeah, it's a replacement book, which to me sounds like he's disappointed that it's not what it was. So
yeah,
I have to pick his brain in that when we talk about the next issue. But yeah, what are you giving it?
I'm giving it a 9.
I'll give it 8. Solid 8 from me. If Marquez was on the art, I make it the 9. But
honestly, it's Darrington that's pushed it up to the 9 for me from the 8.